Hi, BookTube. I've missed you so much. I'm Marilyn Maya, and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about 5 more books for grief relief. But first, I wanted to share some good news with you. It's a milestone. I've hit 1,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, and for your friendship. I've made so many friends here on BookTube from all over the world, and I can count some of you as really close friends who have helped me during this kind of grieving period that I'm feeling much better. So thank you so much. So I wanted to say that if you want to do a Q&A in my next video, just leave your questions down in the description box. But I'm so happy. It took me 2 years to make 1,000 subscribers, but that's just wonderful. I enjoy doing this. I'm not just doing it for subscribers. I'm doing it because I love reading and I love books. Okay, so let's get into some more grief relief, as I'm calling it, books, and some other things that some readathons that I'm involved in. The first book is great. It's wonderful. It makes me so happy. And it's a Moon Publications. And look at the size of this book. It's Wanderlust, A Traveler's Guide to the Globe. And it's, I don't know if you're familiar with Moon Publications, but they have been around for a while, and this was published in 2019, and it says, get inspired with this collection of mythic locations, epic experiences, and ancient cities that span the 4 corners, natural wonders, top cities, dazzling celebrations, bucket list adventures, outdoor thrills, flavors of the world, and cultural treasures. And the photographs here just make you want to just go on a trip. At least it made me go on a trip. And just one of the beautiful photographs. It's rivers that reverse directions. So it says here, and I'll show you the photo in a minute, but waterways that are torrential in one season and then disappear in the next are very common. But rivers that completely reverse their current, though extremely rare worldwide, the phenomenon is widespread in Cambodia. So here's the photo of that. And who knows? I might make it to Cambodia to see that river. And another one that really piqued my interest was extraordinary train travel. And I love train travel, especially in Europe. And I think this one looks like the Alps, but it says Rocky Mountaineer. So it's the Canadian Rockies. I was really off on this one. But you know, lately I've been wanting to go to Canada, so that's a possibility. But this book is full of gorgeous, I really, you know, there's something for everybody. If you're a biker, bike trips around the world. It has celebrations. It has grand plazas of the world. And that always interests me, because we know about some of the plazas, like Times Square, but then there's others that we're not aware of, and some that I've been to. How about Piccadilly Circus in London? So here are some of the best plazas in the world. I think this book has something for everyone who's an armchair traveler, and I can tell you that it's making me very happy right now. So what else did I put on my list of 5? And I might be pronouncing this wrong, even though I looked it up various times, the Hygge life. And so it's embracing the Nordic art of coziness through recipes, entertaining, decorating, simple rituals, and family traditions. And today, by coincidence, we've had this is our rainy season. So in fact, I was just watching show about the Makahiki festival, which where the Hawaiians celebrated the rainy season. And they were doing it in an Arizona prison, how the Hawaiian prisoners were getting close to their culture by performing ancient rituals. So I just thought of that now. But Hygge is from the Danish. And in this book, I'm telling you, it is cozy at this time of the year. They have recipes. They have all kinds of... So what is Hygge? It's like... now, what does he say it is? Usher in life's small pleasures and a sense of comfort and contentment with the Danish practice of hygge, loosely translated as coziness, centered around the idea of inviting comforting elements into day-to-day routines while creating warmth, community, and intimacy. And isn't that what we all need? And I really like the recipes because they have a lot of cod, and I like cod. And, you know, a lot of nature, you know, just like this. It's beautiful photographs. I just love just looking at them. And it, like I said, it's making me very cozy. And all the pancakes and the different kinds of berries that they have in Denmark. And, you know, it's like everything. Some of it a little too cozy for Hawaii, maybe, but not at this time of year. A sheepskin rug and just tea, which I love. It's not only recipes, but it's just like a feeling of, you know, plants and how important light is. Because, you know, their winters are so cold that light is very important, and how they came up with different lighting fixtures, how certain architects, there's a whole section of architecture devoted to lighting, which is amazing. And we have a lot of light in Hawaii usually, maybe not today, but usually there's a lot of light. But it was interesting learning how to diffuse light. Though I think Hawaii has, you know, the natural diffusion of light, except maybe today. Okay, so that's The Hygge Life by Gunnar, Karl, Gislason, and Jodi Eddy, which I assume is one of them is the photographer. And he's, yeah, she is the photographer because he's done a lot of books under this comforting title, Hygge. So let me know if you know about Hygge. My next book is going to be a buddy read, and I started it already with Jack from Spread Bookjoy. And let me tell you, this is making me so, so happy because I've read something by this author, and I love, love, love this author's writing. And her name is Elizabeth von Arnim. And this one is The Enchanted April. And I don't know if this picture is from the movie. And I've seen this movie a long time ago when it first came out, but I don't remember anything except that it was a Merchant Ivory film, had beautiful cinematography. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was just gorgeous. And the opening with the umbrellas in London during the rain, it was just wonderful. And another thing I love about this book, I love the font. I can actually read it. It has a bold font. It's a Virago Modern Classic. So let me know if you've read Virago and they do this kind of font, because I really love it. So what can I tell you about this book? I'll tell you what it says in the back. Basically, it's a discreet advertisement in the Times addressed to those who appreciate wisteria and sunshine. Is the prelude to a revelatory month for four very different women. High above a bay on the Italian Riviera stands San Salvatore, a medieval castle. Beckoned to this haven are Mrs. Wilkins, Mrs. Arbuthnot, Mrs. Fisher, and Lady Caroline Dexter. No, it's Dexter. I've met one person already, and she's Mrs. Wilkins. These are 30-something women, and they're stuck in, boring lives so far, what I've read. But this writer writes with such, when you think that this was written, she was born 1866 and she died in 1941. And so this was written around the 20s. So it was printed, well, it says 1989, but it was written, the first one, vintage 1922. And then the Virago was 1932. So you see how the women are stuck. They're stuck in marriages. They're stuck not using their full potential as human beings, but stuck because of the way women were put down during that time. And yet there is such humor, depreciating humor that the author has, and just such wonderful writing that I know I'm going to enjoy this with Jack. I'm so excited. I read the first 3 chapters, but I'm going to read them again, and because it made me so happy. So have you read The Enchanted April or saw the movie? Let me know down below. The next book is Spice Kitchen. Ariel Fox, and she was winner of Hell's Kitchen, though I wasn't watching that program. My daughter watches Hell's Kitchen. I don't like his swearing and how mean he is, but a lot of people seem to like it. So Gordon Ramsay is not one of my favorite people in the world. So this book was written by Ariel Fox. She was a winner, and it's called Healthy Latin and Caribbean Cuisine. And it says she's Afro-Latina, which kind of drew me in because that's part of my heritage. And though when I looked at some of the, this runs the gamut from, to me, a lot of it looks from all over the Caribbean and South America and even Mexico, which is, I think, is Latin America too. A lot of it I don't eat, like shrimp and pork, but we have these curried green plantains and jackfruit that look really good. Puerto Ricans eat a lot of plantains, as do other Caribbeans. And when you read a cookbook, that kind of takes you out of, the doldrums, and I find that I just like looking at the beautiful pictures of the, even if things that I won't make, I just like looking at pictures. Here's a whole grilled fish, which I've never done, but who knows, I might do it. The last book that I'm going to talk about in the grief relief books that I'm presenting today might seem like the opposite of a grief relief book, and it was recommended to me by another booktube, by Ursula, at Odds and Sods. I hope I got that right. It's a very short book, and it's called Fragments of Isabella, a memoir of Auschwitz, including death camp language. I've read a lot of Holocaust literature, memoirs, nonfiction, etc. But I've never read a book like this. And Howard Fast says, if you know who Howard Fast is, I think he's an author. He says, I want the whole world to read it. And I'm agreeing. It draws us to the ultimate source of human strength. And I think I've talked about this. And why would I read it during a grief period? Just for this alone, but I'll talk a little bit about it. I'm not finished yet, and it's a small book. A lot of people take it in at once, but I'm taking it in little by little. You don't die of anything except death. Suffering doesn't kill you, only death. And that's, in a way, comforting, because we're all suffering from something. But, just knowing. I'm going to read you the first paragraph because to show you how powerful her writing is. She's definitely a poet, She said, yesterday. What happened yesterday? Did you go to the movies? Did you have a date? What did he say? That he loves you? Did you see the new Garbo film? She was wearing a stunning cape. Her hair, I thought, was completely different and very becoming. Have you seen it? No, I haven't. Yesterday, May 29th, 1944, we were deported. And Isabella is from Latvia. And she was deported in 1944 along with her 3 sisters. And they all survive. You know this at the end, at the beginning, really. Somebody said it's eloquent, a miracle of a book. Ursula said that it was the best Holocaust book she's ever read, and I agree, and I've read a lot, because shows so many different emotions with so little words. I can't talk more about it. And why would I read it during grief? Because you realize the strength of the human soul, what the human soul can withstand and still survive. So it just gives you hope. Yeah, it gives you hope. Hope. What is life without hope, right? Okay, so that was the 5 books, but I have a little bit more to talk about. I've also been participating in my small way with some of the Agatha Christie readathons that are going on. And I finished at Bertram's Hotel, and it was a romp of a book. Let me tell you, I enjoyed this book. It wasn't a perfect book, but it was fun. It was really fun. So if you turn off an unpretentious street from the park and continue a little way down a quiet street, you will find Bertram's Hotel. On the right side, it has been there a long time, dignified, quietly expensive. It has been patronized by the higher echelons of the clergy, dowager ladies of the aristocracy up from the country, girls on their way home for the holidays from expensive finishing schools. Then why is Miss Marple there? And that's the whole story. Well, it's not the whole story, but so this is a Jane Marple book. And she's not in it totally enough for me, but she's in it enough to solve the crime or to help the police solve the crime. And it was delightful. It's a little dark. Sometimes Agatha Christie goes a little dark, but I enjoyed it. It really made me happy. So that was for the Cloak and Dagger Christmas. And I'm almost finished with By the Prickling of My Thumbs. And I'm part of the team of Tommy and Tuppence. And I'm enjoying this book so much. And it comes from By the Prickling of My Thumbs, Something Evil This Way Comes. And it shows Tommy and Tuppence. If you've read them, you know that they're a couple that feature in some of Agatha Christie's books, mostly the spy novels. And I ordered another one, so I'm still going to try to read more Tommy and Tuppence. But I'm not finished with this, and they're older now. I would say they're 60s maybe, or just hitting 60, and they're sort of retired, but you know, they go to, okay, so what is it about? The premise is Tommy and Tuppence visit an elderly aunt in her Gothic nursing home. They think nothing of her mistrust of the doctors. After all, Ada is a very difficult old lady, but when Mrs. Lockett mentions a poisoned mushroom stew and Mrs. Lancaster talks about something behind the fireplace, Tommy and Tuppence find themselves caught up in a spine-chilling adventure that could spell death for either of them. And this is really a great book, and I'm excited to read more. I think I'm up to, I'm more than halfway through. But so far, it was just more of a cozy read more than anything else. With you know that something's coming, that kind of anticipation. But also, nobody has died yet, And there's some deaths mentioned in the past, but so far, something just happened, I'll just say that. But I recommend this book really highly because it's making me happy. And that's 2 Agatha Christie's down. And I'm also reading for and I know this is over already, the Christie's Missing Readathon, but I found the Agatha Christie and Elusive Woman by Lucy Worsley, and I started reading it, and basically I'm halfway through. Very good writing, very simple, easy to get through writing. It doesn't go very deeply into her life. Well, it does, but it doesn't do it in a boring way or too much information way, and I'm really enjoying it. And it hints that she's going to tell you what really happened, and that Agatha Christie herself told people what happened. So I'm getting to that part now, and I'm excited. So thank you for all the hosts that hosted this event, Christie's Missing. Yeah, I've read quite a few books which deal with this topic, and you pretty much know what kind of happened, but then there's always that maybe it's something even worse. But, she came back safe and sound, so, I guess that's, that shows you something, that tells you something. The next book is a book I'm going to read with Berna, of Berna's Bookish Adventures. And it was on my list of best books to read, of classic books to read, when I did my list of best classic books to read. In fact, I'm going to get into best modern giant classics to read next year. But this is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton, and I'm surprised I haven't read it yet. It's the winner of the 1921 Pulitzer Prize, which would be great because I've read, and I'll talk about that in another video, 2 Pulitzer Prize winners in the last month and a half. So I'll talk about that later. So what is this about? It's Edith Wharton's masterful portrait of desire and betrayal during the sumptuous golden age of old New York, a time when society people dreaded scandal more than disease. This is Newland Archer's world as he prepares to marry the beautiful but conventional May Welland. But then the mysterious Countess Ellen Olenska returns to New York after a disastrous marriage in Europe. Archer falls deeply in love with her. Torn between duty and passion, Archer struggles to make a decision that will courageously define his life or mercilessly destroy it. So this sounds interesting, especially the part about old New York. I don't really know that much, even though I was born in New York, I don't know that much about New York, high society in that time. And I'm thinking that this is written in the 20s. Yeah, 1920, actually. So I'm really looking forward to reading this with Berna, and I'll have her information as well as Jack's down below. So thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much those of you who have subscribed and have watched my videos during these last 2 years. I so much appreciate it. And if you want more videos from me, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll know when I put out a new video. I hope to put out more videos as the year goes on into the next year about what my plans are for the next year. And I've been reading a lot. So, and joining some readathons here and there. So I want to talk about that too. And I really would like some questions. I'm going to do a Q&A. So put your questions in the comments and I'll be happy, because this is a milestone when anyone hits 1,000 subscribers. And I am so happy that anyone thinks my content is worth watching, because It makes me so happy and so joyful, especially during a time of grieving. You know, you need something to pull you up. So until we meet again, my friends, I will be back sooner, I promise you, than it has been the last month and a half. And I wish you all happiness, joy, and aloha.